is Good Morning Indiana, working for you.
Right now at 6 on Good Morning Indiana. Millions of Americans are traveling to their holiday destinations. We're live with what you can do to help make sure your trip goes as smooth as possible.
A group of Hoosiers working together to battle back from a difficult diagnosis. This morning, I'll show you how they're getting their voices back in more ways than one.
If your stocking contains a gift card, we have a warning for you. We're breaking down how crooks are working to swipe your information from inside the store.
And a woman discovers that an animal trash in your house is not covered by most insurance policies. We're looking at what else isn't covered so you don't waste your money.
6 o'clock on your Monday morning. Hopefully you are up early because you're packing your bags and you're getting ready to hit the road.
I'm Rafael Sanchez, Meredith Barrick. Lauren Casey's off this week. She's packing her stuff. It's been a busy morning, though. We've seen all our traffic cameras. We'll show them to you in a second. A lot of folks are on the roads as, of course, the weather's fantastic to travel today.
It is.
Alyssa Donovan is standing by with the best numbers. Alyssa, don't hide the numbers.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Get out the way,
I'm right
Alyssa.
I'm in front of the good one. You know what? I'll stand on this side. I'll block the 45.
There you go.
That's our
Block the
coldest
45.
day.
Yeah,
And it's not even
there you
that
go.
cold. So this is, we have a great forecast today. Temperatures are climbing into the 50s. Over the next 7 days, our highest temperature is going to be 57 and our coldest temperature is going to be 45. That's a daytime high, which is still about 10 degrees above average. So we are in store for a streak of really nice weather. What's going on right now is we have high pressure in control. You can see just to the south of us, though, there is this low pressure system that's tracking across the coast. We're not going to see any impacts from that, though, even though it looks like we could. As we head through the day, high pressure is in control. We're going to see plenty of sunshine and clear skies. The only areas that could see a little bit of cloud coverage are going to be off to our northwest, including Lafayette and Crawfordsville. So if you're heading along I-65, there will be some cloud coverage there. Those clouds will spread into Indianapolis overnight, and we are going to see cloudy skies to start our Christmas Eve, along with a little bit of fog. So if you're waiting to travel until tomorrow morning, you might encounter some of that patchy fog on the roads. Today, however, it's going to be clear and sunny. So if you're traveling today, you are in good shape. Temperatures starting in the upper 20s and low 30s, climbing into the mid 50s this afternoon.
Alyssa, thank you so much. A great forecast. And really, the roads are in great shape. So we're trying to figure out what happened here in this stretch of road. This is I-65 south of State Road 44, just beyond the Franklin exit in Johnson County. An accident on the left lane. As you can see, the left lane is closed. You can see some of the flashing lights there. And that is traffic heading southbound towards Edinburgh and Hope, Columbus in Bartholomew County, and towards Louisville. So if you are heading south this morning on Interstate 65 at this moment, you may be in for a slowdown. As you can see, police are on the scene dealing with this situation. We'll keep an eye on this throughout the morning here on Good Morning Indiana. The time now is 6:03. The dash to get to holiday destinations is underway, as you just saw, for lots of people this morning, and you can expect the roads and the airports to become really, really crowded.
That's because AAA says more than 115 million people will take to the roads and the skies. And our Kelsey Anderson joins us live this morning. She is at the airport. She hasn't hopped on a flight somewhere warmer because she doesn't really need to. Kelsey, is the airport growing more and more crowded here this morning?
Definitely. It is getting more crowded. We're seeing people who have gotten here earlier and are just kind of hanging out. And we've seen people who are making a mad dash for the checkpoint so they can get onto their flight. But my best advice today is to pack your patience, because check out this line. This is the United Airlines line right now just to get checked in for their flight. And again, it's long. People are waiting, standing. So get here early if you are flying out. That way you don't miss your flight. And AAA says in the 20 years that they have been recording holiday travel, this week we will see the highest amount of travelers on record. The Vice President of AAA says the increase in travelers is thanks to the historically low unemployment levels. If you're planning on flying back on December 26th, well, be ready to pay, because that is the most expensive day to fly. Now, coming up in the next half hour, I'll have tips from TSA on how you can get through security quickly. That way you can make your flight and get to where you need to go on time. Reporting live, Kelsey Anderson, RTV6.
Kelsey, thank you. Indiana State Police kicking up patrols over the holiday travel period. There are a few things you can do to make your trip on the highway as safe as possible. State troopers say to make sure you're well rested when you travel. Increase your following distance, giving yourself more time to stop. Watch for slowed or stopped traffic and don't be distracted. And if you see flashing lights up ahead, remember to move over and slow down.
At 6:05, here is a money saver. You'll pay less when you're filling up this Christmas. The average price at the pump has dipped 4 cents in the last 2 weeks, but experts say, as you can imagine, it won't last. Gas prices are expected to go back up as retailers across the country face higher costs. At this time last year, the average price of gas was 18 cents cheaper. Right now, the highest gas prices are in San Diego, the lowest in Houston, Texas. If you're driving across the Hoosier State, here's a look at what you'll be paying at the pump. This according to AAA. Gas prices are cheapest in Gary at $2.41 per gallon. Drivers in the Circle City are paying around $2.44. Meanwhile, up in Allen County, drivers in Fort Wayne are facing some of the highest prices in the state at $2.55.
We are following breaking news into our newsroom this morning. Saudi State TV reports 5 death sentences have been handed down surrounding the killing of Washington Post journalist Jamal Khashoggi. The columnist was murdered in October of last year while he was inside the Saudi consulate in Istanbul. The Crown Prince has denied any involvement, but says as a Saudi leader, he takes full responsibility. Khashoggi is an Indiana State University graduate. 2 men are in jail this morning in connection to an explosion near the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Police say a 56-year-old man and a 21-year-old man were both taken into custody for the incident. It happened Friday under a railroad overpass on West 16th Street when detectives say there was an explosion in front of a woman's car. Her vehicle only suffered minor damage, but the lights under the overpass were broken. The 56-year-old was arrested for manufacturing and possessing a destructive device. The 21-year-old was booked for possession of a destructive device and criminal mischief. RTV6 is not yet naming the men because they have not been formally charged by the prosecutor's office. A funeral will be held this morning for a 17-year-old killed in a house fire with her grandparents.
The community members in Delaware County, they gathered together on Sunday to remember the high school student. 17-year-old Irie O'Shea, along with her grandparents, Kimberly and Daniel Porter, died in a house fire last Thursday. O'Shea's family and friends spoke at the vigil. They say she was willing to always lend a helping hand.
Irie was one of a kind. I was terrified of joining guard, and I'm a very shy person. In the first practice, she came up to me and was like, "Hi, I'm Irie. We're going to be friends." I was like, okay.
An emotional moment there for friends and family. Services for Irie O'Shea will be held at St. Mark's United Methodist Church in Bloomington and are open to the public. Visitation will begin at 10 this morning. The funeral service will follow at noon.
This morning, Indiana conservation officers are trying to find the person who shot and killed a bald eagle in Lawrence County. That's just south of Bloomington. Officials found the wounded eagle on Friday afternoon just south of the White River near Dixie Highway. Despite efforts by DNR officers, the eagle later died. A reward is being offered to anyone with information concerning this investigation. We have the number for you to call right now on the RTV6 app.
At 6:08, RTV6 is working for you and getting results. Improvements are now in place at a deadly intersection here in Franklin Township following our story. You see, an accused drunk driver did not stop at a stop sign at the intersection of Shelbyville Road and 5 Points Road, killing 18-year-old Isaac Oldham. That was back in September. Now, while taping the story, a woman stopped and expressed her concerns about the lack of drivers stopping at the stop sign. We reached out to DPW, and they have now installed stop ahead signs in an effort to warn drivers of the four-way stop. They have also installed additional stop signs on the left side of that roadway. DPW says there may be more improvements in the future.
Colts Nation is celebrating a big win this morning. The blue and white hosting the Carolina Panthers. The Panthers on a losing streak and eliminated from the playoffs. The Colts scored 2 touchdowns off punt returns to add to their highest scoring game of the year. The Colts come out on top 38-6 in the final home game of the season, ending a 5-game losing streak. The Horseshoe wraps up the season next Sunday in Jacksonville against the Jaguars. The path from prison back to everyday society is often difficult. Coming up at 6:17, we're checking in with a program making it possible for ex-offenders to enter the workforce. Alyssa.
And we are in for a beautiful week for the holiday. Temperatures climbing well above average today. Staying that way through Christmas. Our next chance of rain showers is in the forecast. I'll break down those details coming up.
Marshalls and Home Goods. That worked well.
Time now is 6:12, and we're taking a live look down in Florida. This is the Fort Lauderdale Airport, which is currently closed due to excessive flooding. Now, we do know there is a flight leaving the Indianapolis International Airport here in the next half hour or so that is scheduled to land in Fort Lauderdale. It is a Southwest flight. Those passengers are likely boarding their flight right now. There is another flight to Miami happening soon here this morning. But we do want to give you a heads up if you are headed to Florida, to Fort Lauderdale this morning, that you want to contact your airline to make sure that your flight is delayed, is still happening. You just want to check in, or maybe you just want to readjust and fly into a different airport. We do understand that they are going to resume operations at some point this morning. We just aren't sure quite when. So this is something you do need to be aware of if you are headed down to Fort Lauderdale at any point today.
We're going to keep a close eye on that one. The time now is 6:14, and for the first time in more than 200 years, the Notre Dame Cathedral will not hold Christmas services. Crews are working to reconstruct the iconic church after that fire tore through the building back in April. Officials in Paris say services will be held at a church nearby instead. Investigators are still trying to pinpoint an exact cause of the fire, but say it could have been an electrical malfunction or a burning cigarette. France's President Emmanuel Macron plans to have the cathedral rebuilt in the next 5 years.
Gift cards are always popular this time of year, and scammers are looking for new ways to take advantage of that. Many stores have cards on racks or in different departments. Security experts say those are targets for scammers. They can get enough information to go online and monitor the card. Once it's activated, they can access the funds. Cards located at or near the registers are less likely to be compromised as cards that let you select the amount. Here at 6:14, if I had to select the weather for today, Raphael, I think I would choose what we have in store. It's going to be awfully nice out here today and the next few days.
I think we want an encore. And Alyssa keeps hiding the numbers. Alyssa, you got to get out the way.
Yeah, she's not hiding that.
Alyssa, we love you, but we just want to see the 5-4 all day long.
There.
And you as well. I mean, you're good people.
I'm not hiding the numbers. We have beautiful numbers this week. Temperatures are climbing into the mid-50s. If you are traveling today in Indianapolis or out of Indianapolis, we are in good shape. Clear and sunny skies expected throughout the day. 54 degrees for the high. We're starting in the 30s this morning. If you're traveling in the Midwest, if you are flying to Louisville, Detroit, Columbus, or Chicago, you are in good shape. Those temperatures in the mid-50s with plenty of sunshine. There's a little bit of fog hanging around Columbus, Ohio, but that's not likely to impact any flights, so you are in good shape if you are flying today. Now, if you are flying to the south areas, we are going to see some potential of some delays there because we do have that deep low pressure system. We've already talked about that impacting some airports, so be sure to check your flight. We also have a system off to our west that's going to impact the potential for travel throughout the week as well. That's going to move across the Rockies, bringing the potential of showers as well as snowfall into Denver and areas like that. So just be aware and be sure to check your flights before you head out over the next couple days here, because we do have some weather across the nation. Here at home, things are very quiet, though. We have lucked out in terms of weather. High pressure is in control today. You can see to the south of us, we do have that system that's just skating into Kentucky, bringing some cloud coverage, but not likely that's going to impact Indiana today or the rest of the week. The only thing we're going to see is sunshine today with a little bit of cloud coverage by the afternoon. So here's a look at TrueCast. You can see sunny skies. We'll see a few high clouds this afternoon, and then we'll see those clouds to the northwest. Those will start to filter in later today before they completely filter in overnight. So for our Tuesday morning, we are going to start with cloudy skies and also the potential of some patchy fog. So if you are waiting to travel until Christmas Eve in the morning, you want to give yourself a little bit of extra time because we do have that potential of patchy fog developing. A little bit hard to drive in, especially during this holiday travel time. Looking ahead to Christmas Day, a gorgeous day on tap. Partly sunny skies. Temperatures will be into the mid-50s. Now, the bad news is all the snow that we received likely will have melted off by then. If it hasn't melted outside of your house, it likely will over the next couple days. So not likely we will see any snow on the ground, and we definitely won't see any falling from the sky because we don't have chances of showers or snow until the weekend. That's when we see the potential of rain showers both Saturday and Sunday. Temperatures in the 50s before we drop into the 40s by Sunday. Today in the mid-50s, staying in the mid-50s through the holiday.
Alyssa, thank you so much, and good morning to Greenfield, Fishers, and Franklin. In fact, let's stay in the Franklin area here in Johnson County. This is our INDOT camera at I-65 south of State Road 44. We've been monitoring the situation now for about 45 minutes or so. As you can see, traffic is slow going south of Franklin on 65 because of a disabled vehicle there in the left lane. Not really sure what happened in that area. Road conditions, for the most part, based on Alyssa's forecast, are really good. So we're trying to figure out and waiting for police to give us more information. But nonetheless, this is traffic heading towards the Edinburgh outlet malls or to Columbus or Seymour or just through Louisville. It's going to be slow going as police work on this situation here at 618.
For the past year, our Hiring Hoosiers project has explored Indiana's job market and connected you to resources to land and keep a job.
So this morning, our Mark Mullins shows us how an insurance program in Indiana prisons is making the path from a conviction to rejoining society a little easier.
LaTwan Jackson,
I'm a prep cook,
has a passion for what he does now. When he learned he landed a full-time job at a hotel in downtown Indianapolis roughly a year and a half ago, he was beaming.
Oh my God, I couldn't believe it. I kept asking my boss, are you gonna fire me? Are you gonna fire me? He was like, no, get confident in your own ability.
The spark lit when he was a little boy, watching what was happening in the kitchen.
My mom, when I moved out on my own, I invited her over for dinner. She was like, I made dinner, and she was like, this mac and cheese is delicious. Who taught you? You taught me, because I watched her in the kitchen.
But he admits poor choices in his early 20s led him off his path to face serious charges. What was the crime?
Attempted murder.
Yeah. His guilty plea led to more than 12 years in prison. A tough time, but plenty of time to think, find his faith, and want to be better.
I did a lot of coming to terms with the mistakes of my past.
It wasn't long after his release from prison in 2017, LaTwan learned about CareSource. CareSource is a nonprofit health insurer providing health care coverage for Medicaid consumers. But there's more to it, including its life services and reentry program, which helps convicts transition into society. Dr. Camula Wright oversees much of the program.
We like to understand their food issues, their housing issues. Again, we have ways to help with education and employment.
The CareSource reentry program started in just 2 Indiana prisons, but over the last couple of years expanded to all 15 prisons in the state due to growing demand for its services. So far, it's helped more than 1,500 ex-offenders, partnering with schools and more than 160 local employers who have made a commitment to hire CareSource members.
Most of those employer partners are willing to consider individuals who have a criminal background.
Which is a big barrier.
It is a big barrier.
CareSource removed a barrier for LaTwan. Thanks to the help he received from his life coach, he was able to attend Ivy Tech and take culinary classes. Now he's excelling in the hotel kitchen with a new outlook on life.
Through being responsible and taking ownership and not placing blame.
In downtown Indianapolis, Mark Mullins, RTV6.
Mark, thank you so much. CareSource says its bigger partners hiring its members include the City of Indianapolis, Coca-Cola, and Recycle Force. If you or someone you know could benefit from this program, look for this story on our website, hiringhoosiers.com.
You better watch out. You better not cry. You better not pout. I am telling you why. 'Cause Santa Claus is coming to town.
Santa Claus is coming to town, and so is Michael Bublé. You're just going to have to wait a couple months to see him, though. If you are the 6th caller right now, you can win tickets to see his show on April 1st. The number is on your screen, 317-269-1459. And if you don't win this half hour, keep on trying. We're giving away more tickets the next half hour. Good luck. We'll be right back. Time now is 6:25, and it is time for what is trending at 6. And of course, we're going to talk about St. Nick himself,
All
of
right,
course.
let's do it. Come on.
And in an effort to crack down on drivers violating crosswalk laws, cops called for backup from the North Pole, of course. Officers in Las Vegas are hoping drivers will stop for Santa in the crosswalk. Santa walks the beat and points out naughty drivers to other officers. Officials say the effort is meant to be fun, but also send an important message. Oh, and he's got a snazzy police suit there. Look at him.
Cameras watching at the intersection, and Claus is also watching at the intersections. Be mindful of that. So a letter carrier may have saved Christmas for dozens of families in Kansas. The engine of his delivery truck caught the fire early Sunday morning. That's when the mailman ran to the back and quickly pulled the packages to safety. Thankfully, the mail carrier was not injured. And look at that. He saved all of those packages. Good job, sir. Good job.
All right, we'll talk about a Christmas miracle. 39-year-old Tony Belt is a Purple Heart veteran. In March, he fell from a scissor lift in a workplace accident. He was left in a coma for more than 3 months. His family was told he wouldn't survive. Well, last week, Tony opened his eyes for the first time just in time for the holidays.
Awesome.
He is now communicating with his family by using a thumbs up or a thumbs down. And look at him with his kids there. Wow, a true Christmas miracle.
Yeah, really the miracle, the power of the human spirit, and of course the power of medical science.
And probably a little bit of prayer in there too.
And love.
Yeah,
that always works out.
All right, Alyssa, we do not have to pray for nicer weather because, boy, we are just, lucking out here.
Thank you to whoever did, because I have a great forecast today. Temperatures are well above average. We are going to see gorgeous weather through the holiday. 54 degrees for our highs today. Looking ahead to Christmas Eve, the only issue we're going to have is in the morning. We have some patchy fog possible. So if you're waiting to travel till tomorrow morning on the roads, just give yourself some extra time, because we are going to see that patchy fog develop for your Christmas Eve travel times. By Christmas Day, continuing that climb. Warm and dry conditions, highs in the mid-50s.
Alyssa, thank you. If a car crashes into your homeowner's insurance more than likely will cover the repairs. But what if your home is trashed by an animal? What happens then?
Hopefully it's not Santa's reindeers. Working for you, John Matteries has a caution for homeowners so you don't waste your money.
You buy homeowners insurance to cover you against hazards, or perils as the industry often calls them. But one woman says she believes she found one peril that may not be covered: a wild deer breaking into your home, trashing everything in sight.
I was looking out this window and I saw a deer.
So Susan Mauricio grabbed her phone and started recording. But a moment later,
she gets startled and all of a sudden charges the window. I ran for my life. I ran towards the closest door.
It then burst inside.
That was the window breaking.
Susan stopped recording to call police, who opened her doors and coaxed the deer out. But the damage had been done.
And the deer got stuck between the wall and the couch.
It tore up her couch, carpeting, and 2 bedrooms.
And put a hole into the ceiling.
The destruction and the deer blood all over Sue's house was traumatic enough. But then she discovered she wasn't completely covered to repair the damage.
It was not one of the 16 perils that it could be. If it was a car that had come through my window, that would have been covered.
Allstate advertises it covers mayhem, but deer damage is not on its list of covered perils like fire and vandalism. She says the company agreed to repair the house, but not replace her contents.
They don't cover the personal items. What did you think at that point?
So this was all new. So I was very disappointed.
We contacted Allstate, where a spokesman said they will re-examine Sue's claim. The money-saving site NerdWallet says if your claim's ever denied, write a letter of appeal. Ask for an in-home meeting. Complain to the state insurance department. Finally, request mediation in front of an independent insurance board.
It was very disheartening.
Most of us will never have a wild animal break into our home, but you could have a flood. That may also be excluded. So do an occasional insurance checkup so you don't waste your money. Working for you, I'm John Matteries. Good morning, Indiana.
Now on Good Morning Indiana on this Monday morning, here's a look at your 6:30 news feed. The man involved in a standoff in Randolph County, we're told, has died. Police say John Resitar opened fire on them as they responded to a domestic call on Friday. 3 officers suffered some minor shrapnel injuries. Police later found Resitar unconscious inside the home, and he died Sunday at a hospital.
An inmate at the Marion County Jail died Sunday morning after being found unresponsive. 29-year-old Brandon Thompson received medical treatment from Core Civic medical staff in Indianapolis Emergency Medical Services after he was found, but he did not survive. Thompson had been in custody since October on charges of possession of narcotics, theft, and possession of marijuana.
The Tippecanoe County prosecutor has filed additional charges against a couple accused of abandoning their adopted daughter. Michael and Christine Barnett adopted an orphan from the Ukraine back in 2010 who has a severe form of dwarfism. The Barnetts later moved to Canada, leaving Natalia in an apartment in Lafayette. They claim she was actually an adult con artist trying to kill them.
The South Bend Police Department has adopted a new policy following a police shooting that left a man dead. The South Bend Tribune says the department will conduct random inspections of officers' body camera footage. The previous policy had been under scrutiny since June when 54-year-old Eric Logan was killed by Sergeant Ryan O'Neill while the officer's body camera was off.
And what a game. The Colts are not going to the playoffs, but they got a big win to close out their home schedule this season. The Colts scored 2 touchdowns off punt returns. That was one of them to add to their highest scoring game of the year. The Colts snapped a 5-game losing streak with a 38-6 win over the Carolina Panthers. Final home game of the season, ending a 5-game losing streak. They play next time in Jacksonville, Florida. But you know what? Jacksonville, Florida has nothing on Indianapolis on this Monday morning because we're warm, we are sunny, we got it going on. It is going to be beautiful right here.
And we have Alyssa Donovan to tell us just how warm, sunny, and beautiful it's going to be.
Yeah, we're actually doing better than Florida today because they have all this rain moving through.
Yeah.
And we have clear, sunny, beautiful conditions. We're about 20 degrees above average today for our daytime high. How about that? Starting in the 20s and 30s this morning, we're going to climb quickly because we have clear skies, so that sun is going to help warm us up very quick today. By noon, temperatures will be into the mid-40s already, and we're going to continue that climb this afternoon. To the south of us, we do have this low pressure system that's going to continue to track to the east, to the east as we head through the day today. That's not likely going to impact Indiana today, just bringing some clouds into Kentucky this morning. We are going to stay clear, though. We have high pressure in control, and it's going to stay that way for the next couple days. What's going to happen this afternoon is we're just going to see a few clouds filter in this afternoon for some of those northwest counties before we continue to see those clouds filter in overnight. By tomorrow morning, some patchy fog is possible. Today, though, it's going to be a gorgeous day, mostly sunny skies throughout, 54 degrees for the high.
Alyssa, thank you. We are taking a live look right now at I-65 south of State Road 44. This is an area we've been monitoring here all morning long where a crash has taken place. So if you're headed that way, just be aware of that. We also want to alert you to an issue happening in Boone County right now. State Road 32 and County Road 500 East. There are lane restrictions there due to a semi in a ditch at that location. Boone County Sheriff's deputies tweeting out that you should avoid the area for the next 2 hours, so about until 8:30 this morning, if that is part of your morning drive, due to them trying to remove that semi safely.
A lot more traffic on the roads this morning than usual because people are heading out earlier to get somewhere. So please just watch your speed. It's going to be okay.
Yeah, there are about 115 million people expected to travel this week, Raphael, and that's just for the holidays. And we want you to be prepared to wait in lines and in traffic. And there is one line that always seems to be a problem, and that is the security line, TSA at the airport.
They're doing their best to keep you moving, but our Kelsey Anderson joins us live this morning from the airport. And Kelsey, TSA has some tips on how to get to those lines as quickly but safely as possible.
That's right. And here at the Indianapolis airport, this checkpoint seems to be moving pretty smoothly today. Of course, it gets backed up with people asking questions, but then it moves up pretty smoothly. So again, with dozens and dozens of flights heading out today, we do want to give you some tips so you can get through these checkpoints faster for you and for everybody else. So when you're packing, remember the 3-1-1 rule. All liquid must be 3.4 ounces or less per container in one plastic clear zip top bag, and only one bag is allowed per passenger. TSA recommends packing your 3-1-1 bag and electronics at the top of your suitcase. That way it's easily accessible if needed for further screening. Now, in the standard screening line, remove your 3-1-1 bag, ensure your pockets are empty, put your shoes on the x-ray belt, and remove electronic devices larger than a cell phone from your bag and put them in the bin to be screened. Now, we do want to notify you of a travel warning. So if you're heading to the Sunshine State, it's not very sunny right now. And in Fort Lauderdale, there's actually a flight that just boarded here at the Indianapolis airport, headed to Fort Lauderdale. And we now know that the Fort Lauderdale airport has just now opened terminals again, but flight operations have not yet resumed and are expected to shortly. But for right now, those flights could see big delays. And also, we don't know what's going on with those passengers who are on the plane right now. They could be delayed even further. So if you are heading to Fort Lauderdale, just make sure you double check your app before you go. Make sure you're boarding at the right time. And then, of course, there's a list of holiday things that you can bring with you over on TSA's website. I've also tweeted it for you over on my Twitter page of things you can and cannot bring with you on the plane. But, of course, as always, as we've been saying all morning, pack your patience this holiday season because you are going to be standing in a lot of lines and maybe waiting while you're on the plane for your flight to take off. Reporting live, Kelsey Anderson, RTV6.
Kelsey, thank you. Some Irvington businesses are still assessing the damage after a fire ripped through a strip mall along Washington Street. The fire started around 8:30 Saturday morning. Fire crews say around 20% of the strip mall was damaged, the worst happening inside Black Acre Brewing, where the fire started. At least 2 other businesses, Guitar Town and Black Sheep Gifts, were also impacted.
The back of the house is pretty much destroyed. Kitchen, office, kind of everything. Hopefully we'll be back up and running on Washington Street in the next couple weeks.
The cause of the fire and the extent of damage is still being investigated. Black Sheep's main location could be back open by today, just in time for a last-minute late-night shopping event. Black Acre could take a little longer, but they are hosting events in their beer garden on Bonner Avenue. Several businesses have also offered to carry their beer while they rebuild.
This morning, a pastor is praying for a Christmas miracle as he prepares for his 7th round of chemo. We first told you about Pastor Avery Bush Sr. just last week. He was diagnosed with leukemia back in July, and since then, he's gone through 7 rounds of chemo, knowing the cancer will likely keep coming back without a bone marrow transplant. Right now, there is no match for him on the National Stem Cell Donor Registry. But since our story aired, Be the Match has received 120 online registrations. And on Sunday, 50 people showed up to a bone marrow registry drive.
Even though many of them probably were coming for me personally, but I hope that this could help someone in the future.
You can register online for the Stem Cell Donor Registry by going to join.bethematch.org/Pastor Bush or by texting the word Pastor Bush to the numbers 61474. After that, you'll be sent a kit in the mail to complete your swab test.
A new study has found the Lilly Endowment in Indianapolis is the nation's 2nd largest private charitable foundation. They're trailing only the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. The analysis found that the Lilly Endowment's assets reached $15.1 billion at the end of 2018. Many of their grants are given to organizations in central Indiana focusing on education, religion, and community development. The Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation remains a far #1 with $46.9 billion in assets. Their numbers are small, and it usually leaves them feeling isolated, especially around the holidays. Next, the story of how they are coming together to give a special gift to each other.
I can't wait to see your story. That's coming up. So this morning, we're also giving away some free tickets to see singer Michael Bublé. Your chance to win coming up in just a few minutes, right here on Good Morning, Indiana.
Just because I never took you.
Here at Andy Moore.
The time now is 6:41, and they're getting their voices back in more ways than one. You see, every year, 3,500 people in our country go through a total laryngectomy surgery. And that's when doctors remove a patient's voice box after a head or neck cancer diagnosis.
It results in a major physical change, and it can have lasting impacts on one's overall quality of life. But now, thanks to a local support group, these patients are receiving the ultimate gift this holiday season.
He doesn't go out into public much because he says he gets looks like he feels like he's a monster.
Melvin Keith is anything but.
It's kind of like birds of a feather flock together, and they find comfort in that.
That relief fairly newfound. This close-knit group has known each other for less than a year. That was just one reason Mike Congleton, along with speech-language pathologist Caitlin Pennington, realized they needed more than one-on-one rehabilitation.
I think it takes a huge toll on them and their quality of life, and it's finding a new way of life.
The goal is to not only practice skills and learn how to voice again, but to do so in a safe space with support from one another.
I really expected to be very depressed right this year, but because I had this to look forward to, I'm trooping on. You know, I'm soldiering on. I'm a survivor. And I want to help other people survive.
And coming to the group and realizing, hey, I'm not the only one, you know, that really changed it a lot for me.
It has also been extremely impactful for their families.
Sometimes I think once a month isn't enough. It gives one hope.
This group says they've been given a different kind of gift this holiday season, an optimism that once seemed out of reach.
They're using their new way of communication and their new voice to build new relationships, and I think it's a new chapter that they're opening and finding a lot of joy in.
So, Raphael, here's the great thing about this group. It takes place at Community Health Network centers, the Community Cancer Center North, but you do not have to be a community health patient to attend these meetings. They are welcoming anyone who has had a laryngectomy or will soon be having one to attend so that they can kind of get an idea of what life will be like. And I have put all the information on the IndyChannel.com so you can reach out to Caitlin there and learn more about when their next meeting will be.
So you kept the story from me last week, and everyone else saw it. And I just want to tell you how joyful it is to watch when people come together and they think they're the only ones, and then when they find that there's strength in numbers.
Right.
And to watch all those people be so courageous, because what they did this morning to go on television was powerful. And so I just want to thank you for that, because I'm like, wow.
Right. Well, and it's really incredible. It's something, especially you and I take for granted our voices.
Yeah.
And when you lose something like that you've had your entire life, and suddenly your world is turned upside down, and you can't even tell your spouse that you love them, or, you know, your grandkids Merry Christmas. It's really life altering. So this group was really, really inspiring. And I think this holiday season, it gives all of us something to be very, very grateful for. So,
good job, storyteller.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
That was a great gift that you kept from me. I loved it. Loved it.
Here at 6:44, it was an hour and a half that some fans waited 35 years for, coming up the triumphant return to late night TV of one of its biggest TV stars.
And we are in for a very warm start to the week. The start to a warm week. We're about 20 degrees above average throughout. I'll have all those details coming up. You're watching Good Morning Indiana.
Fitting at the Good Feet store.
This weekend is one that comedy fans of a certain age have been waiting for a very long time. He literally saved the show from cancellation almost 4 decades ago. And this weekend, Eddie Murphy returned to Saturday Night Live for the first time in 35 years. And of course, he brought along a lot of favorites with him.
Who is America's dad now? It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood, a beautiful day for a neighbor. Could you be mine? Would you be mine? I think I just made a lot of bad choices. I don't mean with the cake, I mean like in general in my life. I just made lots of bad choices in my life.
And why is it brown, Mitch?
I don't know. Why is anything brown? How come your damn sister couldn't host?
Because my sister's house is a dump, Daniel.
Nah, I got to pay for all this damn food? Oh, hell no!
As I have always said, this house is happier when it's full.
Get out the bathroom!
Ooh.
L's in their mouth like Skittles. Not even chewing, swallowing L's whole, pointing shoes and all.
Welcome back, Eddie. The only time that those of us that work at ABC can watch NBC. Eddie Murphy was also joined on stage during his monologue by some SNL alums, including Chris Rock and Tracy Morgan, as well as comedian Dave Chappelle, or as Chappelle called themselves, half of Netflix budget. The other good news is that Coming to America 2, according to Eddie, is coming to America. That movie's coming up soon. So it was a great show. Again, those of us that work at ABC only watch NBC once time every 35 years, and this was it.
And those of us who work the morning shift like we do could not keep her eyes open to get past the monologue.
All that stuff's online, Meredith.
I know,
no excuses.
exactly.
Okay.
I know. I'll get to it here in the next few days when I have some time off, and I'm not spending.
It was funny. I watched it.
And I'm not spending time outside, right, Alyssa?
Yeah,
which a lot of people will be doing, which is kind of bizarre to say for Christmas in central Indiana.
Yeah, this is an outdoor Christmas that we have on tap. In terms of the forecast, we are going to be well above average. We just hit the winter solstice on Saturday. Feels a lot more like spring, though, as we head through this forecast. Today, we are starting with those temperatures in the 20s and 30s. We have calm winds, clear skies. You can really see that skyline from our IMS Pagoda cam. As we head over the next couple days here, high pressure is staying in control across the Midwest, but down to the south of us, we do have this low pressure system that's impacting the Carolinas as well as Florida and into Georgia. So if you have any flights those directions, you want to be aware of that. Maybe check your flight status to make sure there's no delays. And you can see we do have that cloud coverage making its way into Kentucky right now, but not likely we're going to see that move into Indiana today. As we head through the day, we are in store for a quiet forecast this Monday. Mostly sunny skies to start. By this afternoon, we will start to see that cloud coverage just start to filter in to some of those northwest counties. All of that cloud coverage will filter in overnight, and we are going to start Tuesday morning with cloudy skies. Areas that have a little bit of snow left on the ground, that's going to start melting off even more throughout this week. So we've seen a lot of that melt off across the Midwest, but we still have just a little bit on the ground here in Indiana, according to the snow cover map, and that is going to continue melting off over the next couple days. So we are not going to see a white Christmas either falling from the sky or on the ground this year. Temperatures today climbing into the mid-50s, so that's why we are going to see that snow melting off quickly. By tomorrow morning, we are going to see that cloudy skies move in and also the potential of some patchy fog. So if you're waiting to travel for your holiday until tomorrow morning, definitely give yourself some extra time. Temperatures won't be too bad, but we are going to see those cloudy skies and that patchy fog possible, which could create some issues for you on the roads. Christmas Day looking great. Partly sunny skies. Temperatures will be in the mid-50s, and we are going to continue that climb over the next couple days. As we look ahead, Christmas records, 64 degrees was our record so far. 1893 is when we hit that. So we're not going to break that record, but we are going to get close. We could maybe skate into the top 5. Our next chance of showers comes this weekend. We have this low pressure system that will track in late Friday night and into Saturday and Sunday. So Monday through Friday, we are looking great. Temperatures in the 50s, well above average, with sunshine in the forecast.
Time now to check your traffic. We're looking at this traffic situation south of Indianapolis. This is in Johnson County, just south of the Franklin exit. We've been monitoring this for about an hour. This is I-65 south of State Road 44. The left lane has been closed now for some time. As you can see, traffic, which is the good news, is moving. This is traffic heading towards Columbus and to Seymour and Louisville. As an alternate route this morning, depending on where you're going, you may want to go ahead and just get on US 31 or State Road 135 and then figure out beyond the Franklin area where you need to go. But US 31 and State Road 135 are doing well this morning as we continue to focus on this traffic situation in Johnson County.
All right, Michael Bublé is coming to town, and we have your chance to see him, be the 6th caller right now, and you can go to his April 1st show on us. The number on your screen is 317-269-1459. Be the 6th caller right now. Good luck, and we'll be right back for a little bit more Good Morning Indiana.
Visit the Hiring Hoosiers job board.
The
The Pacers did not have enough hustle and flow to overtake the Milwaukee Bucks last night. Now they'll get a chance to bounce back tonight. The Pacers take on the Toronto Raptors. Tip-off at 7 o'clock at the Fieldhouse. We just gave away tickets to see Michael Bublé, and you might be playing his holiday music around the house this time of year.
Well, there is new holiday music out you might be adding to your playlist. This Christmas tune, however, is aimed mainly at those who like it loud and a little weird.
Hear my voice, this is Odin calling you. Times have changed, I'm a gentle God. No more war, just design of furniture. Master of IKEA.
What? Alyssa goes, that's not Christmas. That group's name is Nano War of Steel. They are a comedy metal quintet from Rome, Italy. Their song Valhallelujah starts off at a quiet holiday mode, but quickly transform into that metal meets gospel performance, or a mess as I'd like to call it, featuring the Norse god Odin and IKEA furniture. Oh, come on.
When you're singing about IKEA furniture.
Just give me a little drummer boy, for goodness sake.
Beautiful weather day.
Quick weather here. Temperatures today in the 50s. We're staying in the 50s for Christmas Day. It's going to be gorgeous.
It is. All right. We'll be back in 25 minutes. Have a